You're using Apple Pay wrong. There's so much more to Apple Pay than simply this. That's why by the end of this video, you'll learn about the most powerful tips, tricks, and hidden features that I can assure you you didn't know about, so you can make Apple Pay really useful. Let's start everything off with Apple Tap to Pay, Apple's new incredible useful Apple Pay feature that allows you to accept payments from a credit card to an iPhone just like this. It works with physical credit cards, it works on Apple Watch to iPhone as well, or obviously iPhone to iPhone just like that. It basically replaces your traditional payment system from a clunky physical hardware to a beautiful software experience. Now there's tons of ways that you can activate this. I'm personally using Revolut, but it works with Stripe, Square, and so much more. Now the cool thing about Tap to Pay is that you can actually change the orientation of your iPhone just like this, so you can make your client pay for things just like this. Now let me show you all the different ways that you can activate Apple Pay. Starting off with the most basic way to activate Apple Pay is by simply double tapping on the power button and it will activate Apple Pay. It's crazy how many people did not know about this one feature. It's honestly my favorite way on doing it. Also, did you know that if you prop up your iPhone next to a payment terminal just like this, it will automatically open Apple Pay, simply asking you to double click to pay. Just like this, you prop it up just like that, and it's that simple to pay. Another way to activate Apple Pay is by simply adding the wallet complication in the lock screen. By simply tapping like this, it will automatically open your preferred card. Once again, simply double click to pay, and it will open just like that. You add this complication by tapping on Customize inside of your lock screen, tapping on the plus button, and then scrolling down below in the bottom where it says Wallet, and from there, tap on this little wallet icon, and just like that, just by holding on the wallet icon, it will open up. A more advanced way to do this is also double tapping on the back, just like that, using back tap by simply double tapping on the back of your iPhone. To do that, it's a little bit more advanced. You're gonna want to go inside of settings and then tapping on accessibility, then scrolling a little bit down where it says touch, scrolling down to the bottom where it says back tap, and then double tap and add double tap to the bottom where it says wallet. And what that will do is simply trigger a little shortcut that as soon as you double tap on your iPhone, as you can see, back tap, it will open up the wallet app. Now let me show you the proper way on how to pay with Apple Pay. The amount of people that I see at the grocery store paying like this, thinking that the NFC tag is right here in the front. And while that will also obviously still work, as you can see, it's not the proper way to do it because the NFC reader on your iPhone is kind of over here. So the best way to pay with Apple Pay is simply like this. Right here in the front, you simply need to prop up the front of your iPhone right here to the contactless reader, which has this little icon. You simply prop it up just like that. Not like this, like this. Please don't be that person in the grocery store that does like this. I see it way too many times. Now here's something that a lot of people don't know about. The other day, my friend was just mind blown at this one little tip, I guess. I obviously thought it was normal, but did he know that you can grab your Apple Watch with Apple Pay or iPhone, obviously, and do just like this and actually take out cash from an ATM? To prove it, I'm actually gonna do it for you. And check it out, directly using my Apple Watch, I can now take out cash just like this. Now, there's actually so many reasons on why this can be so incredibly useful. One, just imagine you're out running, for example, and you go to a restaurant or you go wherever, and they don't even accept Apple Pay. You can quickly go to an ATM and take out cash just by using your Apple Watch. And that's truly the power of Apple Pay and the Apple Watch, just being able to just go wherever you want and pay. And even when it's not accepted, you can just quickly go to an ATM and take out cash. That's simply game-changing for me. Next up, let me show you Apple's new, easiest and most powerful way to add your own cards to Apple Wallet. As you can see, I've got a bunch of cards and all of these are Apple Pay cards. It's as easy as tapping on this plus icon, and from here, you've got a bunch of things to choose from. You can either add a new debit or credit card manually, or if there's cards found for you, for example, if you've got a digital bank app in your iPhone, it will actually recommend you, hey, you haven't added these cards to your iPhone. Do you want to add these? And it's as simple as tapping on continue and they'll be added automatically. Or this is Apple's new powerful way on adding it. We've always added our cards manually, but now there's a way much more easier way to do that, and it's simply to hold near card. It's as simple as grabbing your credit card and putting it under your iPhone, and automatically it should read the NFC reader just like that. This new way on adding cards to Apple Pay is so useful, so simple. You simply need to add your CVV, and that's it. Way easier than before. You know what's also really useful? Today's sponsor. This is the absolute beast iSteady M7 7 for iPhone. This smartphone gimbal, not only does it give you pro-level stabilization, but also has this magnetic AI tracker that works anywhere with any app. It snaps on magnetically above the phone clamp, has its own built-in camera to track faces or objects, so it works in your iPhone's native camera app, TikTok, Instagram, Zoom, whatever you want. It's got a 3-axis stabilization powered by the iSteady 9.0 algorithm. It cancels micro shakes and it's smooth even while running and even climbing upstairs. It's also controlled by a 1.4-inch detachable touchscreen remote. You can select the subject with a tap, move the gimbal, and even adjust the settings of your iPhone without touching your iPhone. It even tracks you if you step out the frame briefly. You've also got a built-in RGB CCT film light for quick subject lighting. You've also got tons of creating shooting modes like Inception 360 barrel rolls for dramatic moves, motion time lapses, dolly zoom effect, and even panorama stitching for ultra wide shots. If you want better audio quality as well, you can check out the Mic 01, which has 16-bit audio, 360 Omni pickup, and 3-level noise cancellation. It works up to 100 meters line of sight. It auto pairs and has real-time monitoring and record a backup just in case. Let's never forget about lighting. This thing has become an essential for me. It has adjustable brightness and color temperatures. It ranges from 2,500 to 9,000 Kelvin. It's very accurate on skin tones, gets extremely bright, and mounts directly to the gimbal itself, so it moves with your framing. Hohum basically brings this all-in-one package that will take your videos to the next level. If you're interested in any of these products, hit the link down below in the description. And now let's get back to the video. Next step that I wanted to give you is, did you know that you can reorder your cards inside of the Wallet app? Not only your credit card, but also all the cards in the bottom. It's as easy as simply grabbing a card, holding it, and then pulling it up or pulling it down however you want. As I said, this also works with rewards cards. As I said, you simply hold on it and bring it upwards or bring it downwards just like that. So make sure you add the cards that you use the most up in the front. And did you know that the one that sits right here in the front will be your default card, which means as soon as you're double tapping to activate Apple Pay, this is the card that will show up. So as you can see, if I put my Revolut card right in the front, it will prompt me saying that this is my new default card. So make sure to add your first one, your default card. Next tip, if you tap on a specific card, did you know that you can not only see your latest transactions, but if you tap on this new search icon, you'll actually be able to see a total breakdown on all of the recent purchases you've made, including merchants. Now, what's cool about this is if you tap on a specific merchant, for example, it will show up all the recent purchases that you've made with that merchant, and it will give you a bunch of information, including location on where you did that purchase. This allows you to have a great overview on what you're spending and where you're spending, and if you didn't really recognize a certain payment, it's very, very easy to see where you did this. For example, let's tap on this right here. So if I don't recognize a certain payment, I can zoom in and see, oh, okay, now I recognize that I had ice cream at this ice cream shop. You can also browse through your payments through categories from transportation. So this will be all of your gas or food and drinks, for example. These are all the different merchants that I've had these recent transactions on. Or you can even search a recent transaction using the search bar just like that. Also, if you tap on this little button right here in the top right and tap on notifications, you'll be able to manage all of the notifications from that desired credit card. There's a lot of people that get really annoyed whenever they buy something that they're alerted every single time. I personally love the fact that it notifies me every time I did a purchase. You can manage your notifications between show your history and allow notifications in general. Also, if you go and set up your phone settings and go right here where it says Wallet and Apple Pay, and tap on a desired credit card, for example, this one right here, and then tap on Express Transit, you'll be able to tap and go with Express Mode. This means that when you're going on a subway in New York City, for example, you'll be able to use Tap and Go, which is simply propping up your Apple Watch or iPhone, and you won't need Face ID. You simply tap your iPhone to the reader, and you'll be able to go inside of the subway. I tried it out in New York, and it's such a useful feature. And you activate that inside of the Express Transit card settings. Inside of settings, obviously, you can select which card you want to be charged on. For example, on this one, you simply activate Face ID, and it will be saved forever. Also, while we're inside of settings, if you scroll down to the bottom where it says autofill cards, while you're inside of Safari and you're buying something, you can pre-save certain cards in your iPhone. Like this, you don't need to keep typing your credit card in every single purchase that you do online. You can save them all inside of here, and it's obviously extremely secure. You can also activate Apple compatibility. So if I tap this, it will basically check, as it says, with payment networks to determine if your autofill cards can be used with contactless payments with Apple Pay. I'd make sure to turn this on. Also inside of settings is Apple Pay defaults, which will basically store all of your relevant information, such as your default card, your shipping address, your email, your phone number. And this has saved me tons while buying concerts or pre-orders that are under a lot of stress. I recently bought my Bad Bunny's and Kendrick Lamar's concert, and since all of my transaction defaults were stored inside of my account, I didn't need to manually put all of my information since I needed to be quick in order to get my concert ticket. Another setting that is also very useful is Allow Payments on Mac, which basically uses Apple Pay on your iPhone to confirm payments on a nearby Mac. So if you're buying a concert on your Mac and you're rushing in something, well, you can simply pay from your Mac with your iPhone by simply using Apple Pay. Also in the bottom, there's this little Try Apple Pay demo, which will basically teach you the most basic way on how to use Apple Pay on your iPhone. It basically tells you to just lift it up just like this. You can practice on how to use Apple Pay. I don't know who this is for, because in this video, I'm obviously going to show you way much better ways on how to use Apple Pay correctly. As I said, one of my favorite reasons I love my Apple Watch is to simply use Apple Pay right on my wrist. It's just so convenient that I don't need a passcode, I don't need an authorization. It's simply double tap and a pay away. And paying with your Apple Watch is pretty much the same. You simply prop it up just like that, and it will prompt you, do you want to pay with Apple Pay? You simply double click to pay, just like this, and boom, you've now paid. I didn't need to put my Face ID, I didn't need to do anything. It's just that simple. Now, if you have an Apple Watch, let's take a close look at the Apple Watch app on your iPhone. You're gonna want to open it up and then scroll to the bottom where it says Wallet and Apple Pay. You also have the Apple Pay defaults on the Apple Watch. So if you wanna select your certain default card, this is the way that you do that. I get asked a lot, how can I pick my default card as soon as I double tap on my Apple Watch, which is the first card? You do that by simply selecting it right here. From here, you can also activate Express Transit Card, so you can select which card you want to be charged using public transportation. Also inside of the Apple Watch, if you double tap on a specific credit card and tap into it, you'll actually have all of your card details, including your latest transactions. A lot of people don't know that this feature actually exists, and you can actually tap on the specific purchase that you've made. You can also know the merchant that you had and the status, if it was approved or denied, the time of the transaction, and obviously the quantity of how much you spent in that transaction. There's just a lot of people that don't know that under here, there's a lot of information on Apple Watch. So one of the best reasons on why I personally love an Apple Watch is Apple Pay. You can either pay with an iPhone or an Apple Watch, obviously using Apple Pay, but the reason that I love Apple Pay is that you don't even need to, bring up Face ID or Touch ID in the middle of a grocery store, for example. A lot of people often do like this, with the iPhone. With the Apple Watch, it's just a double tap away and just paying. It honestly just kind of feels like magic. There's so many people that always ask me, is an Apple Watch worth it? What's the use case on an Apple Watch? And it's honestly things like this, just obviously you can pay with your iPhone. Obviously you can receive notification on your iPhone, but just the fact that it's always on your wrist and you don't even, as I said, have a double factor authorization or Face ID or a passcode or anything, you just double tap and pay. It's pure magic. As I was saying, the Apple Watch gives you certain freedom while using Apple Pay, cellular, AirPods. One of my favorite reasons on why somebody would want an Apple Watch is if you want to go on a walk in your city, if you want to go out running, just the fact that you can listen to music with your AirPods, still receive notifications using cellular connectivity, and obviously using Apple Pay, and even the ability to take out cash with Apple Pay on any ATM, still while not using your iPhone. This and so many more reasons, obviously, on why somebody would want an Apple Watch. Now, features like Apple Cash and the Apple Card are phenomenal, useful features. The only problem with them is that unless you live in the US, those features aren't out there in the world. But I still wanted to show them to you. That's why I decided to bring one of my favorite Apple content creators, Andrew from Apple Insider, to tell you all about Apple Cash and the Apple Card. Andrew, take it away.
Hey, thanks for having me. Stoked to talk all things Apple Pay Cash and Apple Card. So all of these features basically live in Apple Wallet. The easiest way I'd say to think of them is that the Apple Pay Cash Card is most similar to a virtual debit card and checking account, while the Apple Card is a true credit card. We can split these up to talk about them more granularly. So Apple Pay Cash is Apple's take on Venmo, the Cash App. You can easily send and receive money through iMessage. When someone sends you funds, they will go into your Apple Cash account, where you can withdraw them to a different bank account at any time or spend them. If you want to send someone else money with Apple Cash, It can pull from that reservoir of funds or a linked bank account as well, and for a fee from a credit card. One of the things that I love about this is iMessage. If somebody mentions that you owe them money or they owe you money, it'll automatically prompt that and make it really easy just to complete that transaction. It's like super simple to do in the place you're already conversing. This virtual Apple Cash debit card, though, can be used for actual spending too, not just sending to friends in iMessage. When you go into a store, you can tap and use Apple Pay with this just like any other credit or debit card. Fun fact, the Apple Cash card actually used to run on the Discover network, but it was moved to the Visa network, which did broaden its acceptance at brick and mortar stores. If shopping online, there's also a virtual card number you can pull up in the Cash app. Hey, I saw you trying to snoop my card number. So up until the middle of 2024, Apple also offered something somewhat related called Apple Pay Later. This was an Apple-branded Pay It Later service where you could make a purchase up to like $1,000 and split it into 4 equal payments without any fees or interest. Apple ended up discontinuing this feature though. Instead, it opened it up to third parties to fill that void. When shopping online, now you will often be able to do the same thing using Apple Pay, but splitting it with Klarna or Affirm. These can be sneaky and stack up, so just use them wisely and don't overburden yourself with monthly installments. Lastly, I am just dying to talk about Apple Card. This is a true credit card you must apply for that is co-issued by Goldman Sachs Bank. And yes, limited to the US market at the moment. You apply directly from the Wallet app by pressing the plus button and choosing the Apple Card. Once approved, you'll get a virtual card in your wallet and a snazzy metal card will show up in the mail. Rewards are above average. 3% back on Apple purchases, 2% when using Apple Pay, and 1% when you use the physical card. My tip here is that 3% applies to even App Store purchases. That means you can effectively get like 3% off a lot of the subscriptions that you may have, like streaming services, game services, and anything else that you subscribe to through the App Store. Not bad to get a discount on those things. Apple also doesn't charge any fees either. No late fees, international travel fees, or annual fees. That cash back is compounded daily, literally called daily cash, and can be applied as a statement credit, deposited into your Apple Cash account, or deposited into a dedicated Apple savings account. There really is a lot to love about the Apple Card. For me, I love the spending visibility and the security. The Wallet app shows your spending categories and exactly how much interest you'll pay based on your monthly payments. And then the card itself has no card numbers on it at all, and you get new virtual card numbers at any point for shopping online, and rotating security codes too. Plus, up to 5 family members can share the same Apple Card account. By the way, if you want to learn more about the Wallet app, like how you can add your driver's license and what those can do, check out the recent video I posted up on Apple Insider. Anyway, back to you, man.
Thank you, Andrew, so much. His channel will obviously be linked down below in the description. You have to subscribe. So there's a lot of stores, businesses, and restaurants that will have a certain physical sticker outside of the door letting you know that they accept Apple Pay itself. Now, obviously, something important to know is that if there's no sticker in the business itself, that doesn't necessarily mean that they do not accept Apple Pay, but obviously if there is an actual sticker, you'll know that there's Apple Pay 100% for sure. And these stickers right here actually hold a little secret that I wanted to tell you. Yes, the Apple Pay sticker is actually for free and anybody can order it right now. There's a lot of people that don't know this, but if you own a business, a store, a coffee shop, whatever, you can simply go on Apple's website and order free Apple Pay stickers for your business. So your customers can know that Apple Pay is accepted in your store. But honestly, Apple Pay is accepted worldwide now. No matter which store I go to, it's always accepted to the point that I don't even use a wallet now. Apple Wallet has totally replaced my physical wallet because using Apple Wallet, I've got my Apple HomeKey. Using Apple HomeKey compatible smart locks, I don't need a physical key. Even in the US, digital IDs are coming to Apple Wallet. Apple Insider actually has a phenomenal video on that. I've got all of my rewards cards in the Wallet app, from my favorite grocery stores to my favorite fashion stores to my favorite coffee shop rewards cards. There's honestly so many different ways where Apple Pay is compatible, and the ones that you honestly wouldn't really expect. For example, in a city where you park, your car in the city and a ticket meter So you can see, you simply have to come up close, this contactless little icon, and boom, Apple Pay, you put your license plate, and you're done. In the US, for example, 90% of retailers accept Apple Pay. There's one single store that doesn't accept Apple Pay, which is Walmart, which is crazy. Walmart remains a noticeable exception. They don't support Apple Pay in-store because they promote their own QR-based Walmart Pay system instead. I think sooner or later, Walmart should start accepting Apple Pay. What do you think? Another benefit on using Apple Pay instead of a traditional physical debit or credit card is, let's say I'm here at a restaurant, for example. Usually the waiter will grab my credit card and will bring it inside, or either way, we'll still touch and be able to see the number in my credit card. Instead, using iPhone, using Apple Watch, or basically using Apple Pay, the reason Apple Pay is so secure is that it uses a DAN, a device account number. It's dynamic and uses one-time security code. It's pretty much encrypted, so the restaurant, for example, will never know what your name is, what your credit card number is, and not even Apple can track your payments. Apple doesn't share or monitor your transaction history, where you've been, where you've paid, and apart from that, obviously, you've got security. If you are paying with an iPhone, for example, it will ask for your face, for Face ID, or even an Apple Watch. As soon as you take your Apple Watch off your wrist, it will still ask for the passcode, as you can see, and nobody will be able to access Apple Pay as well. So there's so many reasons on why Apple Pay might be useful, but the most important one is that it's extremely secure for things like this. Because yes, Apple Pay is just so much more secure than your traditional credit card. Apple Pay for me totally replaced my wallet, and I'm sure it did for you as well. Let me know in the comments if you learned something new, if you use Apple Pay daily. You can keep watching more of my videos right here, or you can subscribe to Andrew, Apple Insider right here, to keep watching more of his videos. Thank you, Andrew, for coming on, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.